What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of No Reserves Podcast. I'm your host, Angelo. Here with me, as always, is Alex. Alex, I survived Armageddon.
For now. How's it going, guys?
I
Not as always. Not as always. You should probably start with the PSA.
think I think the new rule of thumb is if Alex predicts it, just do the opposite at this point. It's like a way of life.
Yeah, I guess we can just touch the waters of fantasy. I'm guessing that's what you're talking about in terms of the Armageddon. No?
No, I'm talking about how you didn't
Oh.
beat me in the predictions this week.
Oh, okay. Okay. I thought you were mentioning fantasy
No,
because I won't be here tomorrow.
no, you
Uh
won't.
Angelo will be flying not solo, but with a new partner tomorrow. So for everyone who's usually following along my PD ride in order to get to the playoffs, we survived another week, fellas. Just the small update
Hmm.
before we get into the real football, since I won't be here tomorrow. We live to fight another week. How
So
did you
I
like
think
this week of football?
the Thanksgiving football was pretty much all amazing. Um, we got to watch the Seahawks get sacrificed. The Commanders got worse. The Dolphins, like, the only close game was the Packers and the Lions, which I guess you want to see close games, but at least you got to see, like, a lot of offense and a lot of good defense getting played for some teams. I cannot say the same about the Sunday games when you had the Giants, Patriots that I don't want to talk about, the Steelers, Bengals that I definitely don't want to talk about because I watched that whole game, the Panthers, Titans, and the Browns. Like that those are all just bad games. Like
There were some very pitiful games this week. There were some very good ones, some very entertaining ones, like the
the best ones
Jacksonville
were on
Jaguars.
Thursday. That's my hot take. I don't care that basically every team got blown out. Thursday was the best day of football.
I'm pretty sure I would say the best game of the week was the Eagles and the Bills,
Yes, that was the best game, but the
but not
best
the
day
best
was
day.
Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take that. I understand that. Yeah, I would say so. I mean, pretty entertaining Thanksgiving game to start. The Packers going, I believe it was in Detroit, right?
It was in Detroit.
Okay, it was in Detroit, yeah. The Packers took the business to them. They played really well, to be honest,
Week
and
one
managed to get
Packers
a
came
win.
back.
Yeah, like Jordan Love seems to be playing much better right now, to be honest.
Are we too harsh on Jordan Love? So someone put me up. Someone put up his stats over his first, I believe it's 11, 12 games in Aaron Rodgers, and they're very, very similar, like eerily similar. So
Yeah, we sort of have to remember that this is basically his rookie year in terms of starting games, actually. Like
yeah.
he played a couple of games when Aaron was hurt, but this is now his true like freshman year
Mm.
playing in the NFL. And I mean, since week 9, from week 9 to week 12, Jordan Love among the qualified QBs is third in EPA per play, seventh in success rate, 16 yard per attempt, 15 adjusted completed percentage, seventh in CPOE, third in touchdown passes, fourth in passer rating, 17 air yards, fifth in PFF passing grade, third in big time throws, and third in completions over 20 yards. Really impressive by a guy who most were sort of giving up on.
Yeah.
We stood by our guy, and he's rising now. He's shining. Look at that, good boy, go.
So is there any bad game that you want to talk about? Because I'm cool just skipping them.
Um, Bad games. So I definitely don't want to talk about Seattle. We can leave that one go. You know you're a fan of a team for so long when you watch like the first two drives and you know what's coming. So in that game, I basically watched the first two drives of our offense, and I turned the game off and went to bed because I know it was going to be a blowout. I wake up and it was a blowout, and I watched the game in 40 during the morning. And yeah, it was exactly what I expected. We just got absolutely mauled by the San Francisco 49ers. There's not
Yeah,
really much to say other than that. I mean,
y'all got
we
sacrificed.
we completely got sacrificed. I mean, the game plan was just atrocious, man. I don't know. I think Shane Waldron got some hype early on, and I think I was buying the hype because I thought they could be like some dark horse contender for the Super Bowl.
Hmm.
I guess that's just the effect of playing the PJ Walker Browns and the New York Giants and all of those teams that we played in that stretch. Carolina as well. I guess it's just the impact of playing really bad teams. Or I guess the Browns aren't bad teams, but like not properly QB teams, I guess. It's the better word. And yeah, the effect of that rubbed off on me, and we are clearly not a competing team for a Super Bowl. We probably make the playoffs because the NFC is really iffy right now, but I have
Yeah,
no hope for this team.
you have no hope. You don't think you're gonna make any kind of noise in the playoffs?
Nah, for sure, no. The
Who would
defense
you
would.
rather see, so who would you rather see in the first round? Would you rather see Philly, Dallas, or San Francisco?
Oh, I guess we're getting a preview this week because we are playing Dallas, if not mistaken, on Thursday night football, nonetheless. I mean, I don't know. I think Dallas is always sort of fraudulent when it comes to the big games, so I guess them.
You want
Uh,
Dallas?
yeah, I guess I would rather have Dallas. I don't trust that we can win any of those games, but if I have to pick one, it's probably Dallas.
Okay, I'm just curious. I'm pretty sure those are basically the teams competing for the 1 or 2 seed. So
Yeah, I do think that we probably make it not as the last seed. It's probably gonna be.
the
Right now
Falcons.
we're what? Yeah, no, yeah, the Falcons probably, or whoever finishes. Who should be like the third team right now? It should be. What's the other division that I'm missing? Oh, the North or the Lions, I guess. Yeah, I guess the Lions is not a bad matchup either, due to the inexperience in the playoffs.
That's fair.
Yeah. I do have one really bad game that I want to talk about, and I guess we can jump straight into Sunday. But this season, there have been 52 games in which a team has allowed 10 or less points. In those 52 games, the team who allowed less than 10 points won 50 of them. The team who lost the other two games, the team lost even though they allowed only 10 points. Those two games were the Patriots. They lost back to back games where they allowed only 10 points. Is this the end of Bill Belichick?
Honestly, I heard a report that said that he's rumored for the Chargers. Honestly, I'd like that.
I'm sort of shocked he hasn't been fired yet, to be honest. I thought for sure it was coming after the London debacle, but I
I'm telling
mean,
you, they're not firing him. If they think they can get assets for him, they're not firing him. Why would you give it away for free if you can get assets for it?
I guess, but
If you got
what
if you
if
got to go through the painful season this year, then you got to go through the painful season this year. I guess you're gonna be all in on CJ or not CJ Stroud, but Drake,
Drake May?
Drake or Caleb
Do you
Williams,
think? Do you have? Yeah, I was gonna say. Do you think they have a chance at the 101 though?
maybe.
Because this was the big news that came out today. But Frank Reich was fired today for the Carolina Panthers.
How many?
Um,
How many? Who has it?
who has what? The 101?
The Cardinal. Oh yeah. Oh,
It's
the
the
Panthers.
Panthers. The Panthers have the
Panthers and the
101.
Cardinals. Yep. Okay.
No, I believe the second, the 102 right now is the Patriots
No,
due to the
it's the
tiebreakers.
Panthers. It's the Cardinals, dude.
Oh, it is? I thought for
Yeah,
sure
they're
I
two
saw
and
that.
10. The Patriots are 2-9 right now.
Oh, okay. Okay.
There's a whole bye that
But
needs
yeah,
to be.
they're in the mix.
Yeah.
But Carolina with Kyler Murray now back, the team looks at least better than the Patriots. That's just I don't know why he keeps doing this whole dance with Mac Jones and Bailey Zappi. I do not understand.
All I have to say is you have to be pretty bad to lose to the Tommy DeVito led Giants.
Do you remember back when the Bill Belichick defense would just annihilate any rookie that they would play? Good old
I mean,
times, no?
I think they did pretty good at annihilating him that game. It's just they couldn't get more than 10 points.
I mean, yeah, but like I remember back in the days of the rookie QB would have like I don't know 100 yards and 2, 3 picks. Now Tommy
Well,
DeVito,
there's a give and take to that. You have to have an offense that can at least sustain drives to get the rookie quarterback more nervous and more prone to make mistakes. You can't just like if you're Tommy DeVito and you notice that the Patriots get like 2 red zone trips and this is the entire game, then how are you nervous? You could luck into 2 red zone trips if you're Tommy DeVito. Like, come on.
I'm just I'm just completely shocked to be honest. I thought for
It's a
sure
bad
this
game.
was
It's
it
a
was
bad
the
game.
worst game of the week probably. Uh, I did not expect this. To be honest, I expected the Patriots to at least win the game, if not just completely destroy the Giants, because I had no faith in Tommy DeVito. But apparently, Tommy DeVito managed to get like 200 yards and a touchdown versus what should be the rookie QB annihilator. Just in hall and
Who
benching
are the Patriots beating
no one. They
in
can't
the
be.
remaining schedule? They have the Chargers, Steelers, Chiefs, Broncos, Bills, Jets. And the
No,
Jets should have Aaron Rodgers back.
they're not
Who
winning
are
another game.
They might beat the Steelers. Well, I don't know. The Steelers' offense actually looked pretty good. Even though they didn't score very many points, the offense did march the ball up and down the field. It was just some bad turnovers and some bad luck that the Patriots, Steelers were only able to muster 16 points on the Bengals.
If I'm not
So,
mistaken, they got around 400 yards of
yeah.
offense. That's the
Yeah, it was
most
really close.
they had since I believe it was 2021, if not mistaken.
Yeah. No. The Steelers' offense is starting to look good. Can it maintain this?
Man,
We'll see.
I don't know, man. I don't think it has any. No, my bad. It's the first 400 yards of offense game that they had since 2018.
That's pretty rough.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
And it's a total coincidence that it came after the Matt Canada firing. Nothing
Yeah.
to see here, for sure.
Nothing
Nothing.
to see here. I'm sure Luke is
Don't,
somewhere celebrating.
just don't look at the passing charts from Kenny Pickett, because you might find some passes in the middle of the field. Yeah, they are finally using the middle of the field. Who would have thought that that's a good way to jumpstart your offense?
I know. I actually got to see Pat Fryermuth out there.
He looked good, huh?
He did.
120 yards of receiving offense. What did you think of the new look Bengals with Jake Browning?
It was bad, dude. It's bad. Like, he made a few mistakes that he was kicking himself over, but it's just we're just unable to march down the field. It's just that's reality. One of Jamar's Chase's completions came on a tipped pass.
Wasn't it two?
Huh?
wasn't it like two of his completions of his
I only
catches, I
remember
guess?
one, but it might have been
Yeah,
two.
I think it was two. I was making something around the house, but I was listening to the red zone. And just when I got away from watching the game, I believe the broadcast mentioned, oh, just before he had the tipped pass that he managed to catch, and now he gets another tipped pass that he managed
Hmm.
to catch. So I think that might have been
But
two,
yeah,
but
no.
I did not see the second one.
The interception came on a pass to Jamar Chase. It's bad.
I saw the pick
Yeah.
they showed on Red Zone.
Yeah, it's rough.
Now, is it something that you think can be like rectified and that it was just
No.
because this was a rough start, like your first game as a starter for in the NFL, not only it's versus a divisional rival, but it's the Steelers, who are a
Steelers defense is
pretty
pretty good. Yeah.
good defense. Yeah. Do you think it gets better from here?
Better, maybe. No. All hope is lost. All
Like,
hope is
of course,
lost.
I don't expect like a miraculous playoff run,
All hope
but
is
I
lost.
mean, the Jags, the Colts,
Are
the
we in a
Vikings.
position to draft Marvin Harrison Jr. now?
I
No.
doubt it.
I
Even if you lose out,
I
five
think
games is
I
way
think
too
we've won
much.
too many games already, yeah. Who we got? We got the Jaguars next. They're gonna beat us. We got the Colts next. They're probably gonna beat us. The Vi I don't see another win, dude. I don't
I
see it.
think you beat. I think you beat the Colts and the Vikings.
Think we'll beat the Colts and the Vikings?
Yeah, I'll give you
The
at least a
Vikings
solid
with
chance
Justin
there.
Jefferson?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll give you a solid chance at least.
We play the Chiefs. That's gonna feel good for them, I'm sure. Oh,
And I guess it's more like you're just beating on the small guy there because you don't have the QB, so it kind of loses some of it of the interest.
the only good thing I can say is the Bengals over the last two or three drafts have invested heavily their late first round picks in defensive backs, whether that be Daxton Hill, whether that be Cameron Britt, whether that be Turner. I forget his first name already. But it seems like all of those guys are contributing to the defense. So we are doing things that we don't conventionally do, which is not only spend money in free agency, but also our draft picks are contributing to the roster in a big way.
Yes,
So
and you're drafting a year in advance. Like you mentioned, Dax Hill, he was drafted last year. Not the last year's draft, the other one.
yeah,
When you
Cameron
still
Taylor
had
Britt.
Jesse Bates.
Yep.
Yeah, and Taylor Britt as well. But he was drafted while he still had Jesse Bates, and now that Bates is gone, he gets to jump in with a
Yep.
year on the bench, learning from the vets. I mean,
Yep.
it's smart roster building, and I think it probably continues. You get a pretty high pick now. I gotta believe it's gonna be top 12, top 13.
I think we go for
So I
a
mean,
pass. If we're gonna go defense, we're probably gonna go for a linebacker or a pass rusher. If it's on the offensive side, it has to be on the line. It has to be on the offensive line. There's no other way. Like
do you think because this class is very highly touted in terms of wide receivers?
here's what might be interesting, depending on where the Bengals picks fall. If the Bengals select Bowers,
I was gonna say that, yeah.
if the Bengals select Bowers, there are going to be people in Dynasty drafting Bowers at the 101. Book it.
Can that happen in our league, please? Austin, if you're listening, this is good advice. This is very
This is not
solid
good
advice.
advice. You do not select a tight end at the 101. We learned that with Kyle Pitts. But can you imagine? He tests well and he goes to the Bengals tethered to Joe Burrow. Can you imagine that hype?
Yeah, I was gonna say either that or wide receiver, like letting T Higgins
What if we
walk.
what if we get Nabbers?
Yeah, that could be it as well.
We seem to like our LSU wide receivers, so let's go.
Let's make an LSU team, all LSU team.
There you go.
grabbed Clyde Edwards-Helaire
I
in free agency.
actually talked about Austin about that. If the Chiefs let go of Clyde Edwards-Helaire, it wouldn't shock me if we signed him, like at all.
Yeah, that probably makes sense. You probably won't need that big of a deal,
No,
and you've been needing like a second guy there.
he can be a pass catching back, and we haven't had that since Giovanni Bernard. So
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah.
Uh, I do want to talk about another game that involves a team that you really like. But how about those Saints, Angelo?
Oh, oh, it was over when Chris Olave went.
So I have a stat for you.
Okay,
I like to find my stats.
you like to find your stats.
Yeah. So, what was one of my main pet peeves versus Derek Carr when he signed in?
How terrible he is in the red zone.
Exactly. So the Saints were the only team since 2000 to have 17 straight seasons covering more than half of their red zone drives into touchdowns
Mm-hmm.
from 2006 to 2022.
Mm-hmm.
They are at 42.5% this season, which is the fourth worst in the NFL. So
Yeah,
Derek Carr not only is bad in the red zone, he goes to a team who is historically good in the red zone, and he makes them bottom 5 in the league in red zone.
pretty rough.
Yeah, I guess they should have just stayed with Andy Dalton, right?
Stop it. At least
I
Derek
mean,
Carr gets you to the red zone. The only problem is the conversion rate there is not very good.
again, great. All I want is really get to the prom, but
Here's
don't
a
enter it.
There you go. Here's a since you want to talk about some fantasy today, since you're not going to be on Thursday. Derek Carr is amazing for whoever his wide receiver one is. Like that's just a fact.
Um,
No, that's just a fact.
I mean, sort of. Like Olave, although he has been good, he hasn't been what we hoped for. Now, this game was
How is
promising.
he?
Now that I mean, he was what a top 20 wide receiver. I mean, his ADP was around the wide receiver one, so we sort of failing on that. Like, not by much. It's still
Was
pretty
it?
close. But for example, like the game prior to this one, he was having a pretty rough game. I believe he had like a catch or two, but then Jameis came in and like he got like five or
Yeah,
six catches with 96 yards and a touchdown,
yeah.
just out of Jameis.
Mm-hmm.
So now without him, Michael Thomas, who went on injured reserve. Now it could be that the targets just get funneled for Olave and Kamara.
Mm-hmm. Well, Olave has a concussion, so I'm pretty sure it's up in the air if he's gonna play.
Yeah. I
But
don't think there has been a player this year who got into the concussion protocol and played the week after, unless it was a bigger week, like if they play Thursday night football, if they play Monday night football,
so you're saying
the week after.
Not very likely Olave plays Sunday.
Yeah, I don't believe that at all.
Yep, that's right.
They have been really cautious with the concussions this year.
Mm-hmm. As they should be. As they should be.
Yeah, of course. But Bijan finally had his big game on the other side of the field.
And screw the Falcons, man.
I mean, I guess it's just screw Kyle Pitts because Drake London had 7 targets, 5 catches, 91 yards, solid game. Bijan had what? 3 catches, 32 yards, and a touchdown, and then he added on 91 carries, 91 yards on 16 carries
It
for a
felt like they
touchdown as
gave him
well.
91 carries.
Yeah. And I mean, he had 16 carries, pretty solid. He had 19 touches overall, pretty solid. And that backfield still had 7 carries to Desmond Ridder, 10 carries to Tyler Algier, 8 carries for Cordell Patterson.
So
Just they just want to run the ball as much as possible right now.
here, okay, so I mean, yeah, you're like, yeah, Drake London had 90 yards. Desmond Ridder had 13 completions on 21 attempts for 168 yards in the NFL. For Christ's
Yes.
sake, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Like,
He's not good, dude.
There's no one's good. There is no one good on the Falcons.
You know what my take was on the Falcons prior to this was no matter how bad the QB. This is like the sort of game that I expected it to be the whole season. It's like the QBs are not good, but the running game is solid. I mean, they got a what? They got over 100 yards. No, more than that. Yeah, they got over 200 yards just on the ground between four players, and the defense played solid, and they won the game by like what? They won by nine. Nine, yeah. They won the game by nine, even though their QB threw for 168 yards and he threw two picks. So
It's
this
bad.
was the sort of game that I expected from the Falcons.
It's
Like
just bad.
they will win games like this.
It's just bad.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch them anymore.
Number one team in the NFC South.
Just screw the Falcons. That's my take.
That is all.
That's my take. Should we get to, since you have to get it ready to go, should we get to our top tens and the predictions for next
Uh,
week?
I
Good.
I think we can still do a couple more games. I think I'm still
Okay.
right on time. Yeah.
Eagles Bills.
It's Eagles Bills.
I know you want to talk about it. Your number one team in the power rankings.
Dude,
Huh?
I don't know how the Eagles keep winning these games. I was at awe when I looked at this game. Like there was a point in there, the Bills, I believe they were winning. I believe it was like by three or a touchdown. It was something like that. It was a one score game. But it felt like it should have been at least three scores. And they just completely butchered it. I mean, there was a point in there in which they were leading by a touchdown, and they had double the amount of offensive plays that the Eagles had. It was just a stupid game. Plus, I gotta say,
Pacheco didn't even have that bad of a game.
I mean, Jalen Hurts threw for like 200 yards, and the Eagles scored 37.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, they had what? They had
Oh
265.
my
They
god, I'm
had,
looking at their receiving numbers and it's just AJ Brown. Well, it was Devontae Smith led, AJ Brown, and then no one else got more than one reception.
yeah.
Kenneth Gainwell got two receptions for 10 yards.
Yeah, and even
Oh
like the
my
drop
god.
off from Devonta to AJ Brown in terms of yards,
It's huge.
it's huge. Yeah, they had a really bad game, and they win, and they scored 37. I don't know. There were a couple of plays there that I was just flabbergasted at the Bills. Like they had this crazy obsession with taking out Stephon Diggs in big downs. I
Hmm.
counted at least two or three big downs, like third and long or second and long to set up that third down. When they were in like trailing positions, for example, 2 minute drills, where they would take out Stephon Diggs on third down to put in, I don't know, Trent Sherfield. And then not only do you put in Trent
Shakir.
Sherfield, but you throw the ball to Trent Sherfield when it should have been Stephon Diggs. Are you trying to alienate your best player or the second best player on your team? What are the Bills doing, man? I don't know.
Trying to lose football games.
Maybe. But then they got really screwed in a few plays there by the refs. Like there was a play in there, I believe it was late in the game, when they were trying to make something happen in the fourth quarter. They were still leading, if not mistaken. But Allen throws a pass on the sideline to Stephon Diggs. Would have been a first down. I believe he has Darius Slay draped all over him. Like it's immediate contact. Like the dude is all over Stephon Diggs. There's not even a single penalty being called. That's a clear pass interference. Then prior to that, I believe it's still in the first half. They were inside the 10, if not mistaken, the Bills. And Josh Allen is trying to make something happen. Hassan Reddick, if not mistaken, comes in, grabs him by the collarbone, like rips his shirt apart, throws him to the ground by grabbing his collarbone. It's a clear horse collar tackle penalty, clear penalty. Then not only do they not call the penalty, then they call illegal ground. What was it? It's not illegal grounding.
Illegal
It's
contact.
grounding. No, it's grounding. It's grounding.
Oh, intentional grounding. Intentional grounding.
Intentional grounding. I knew it started with I. Just
Yep.
had a blank. Yeah, intentional grounding. When it was either a sack or it was an incomplete pass because there was a receiver right there. He hit Gabriel Davis right in the feet. And I don't know, man. It was a really weird game. I thought there was something going on there. I did not understand the calls.
That's fair.
Bad officiating all around, to be honest.
You hate to see that. And I
But
think
I mean,
there was some of that in the Cowboys game too. So maybe the NFL is just on Eagles getting the 1 seed, and the Zebras are going to dictate some of these close games. And it doesn't help that the Eagles are probably fairly far and away the best roster in the NFL. So if you key in on AJ Brown, you're going to leave Devontae Smith one-on-one. If you get them to like a third and short, they're just going to tush push to get it that 1 or 2 yards. Like,
yeah.
you can say the Eagles aren't playing good, but the Eagles feel oppressive to play.
Yeah, I mean, they were down quite a bit in this game. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think they led that much. I
No, they
believe they
didn't.
led
Not
in
at
the
all.
fourth quarter.
Yeah.
There was a point in there in which the penalties were like 11-1 or 11-0. Bills had 11 penalties. Eagles had 1 or 0.
That's just tough.
Yeah, that's just, I mean, very rough game. And Josh Allen moves to 0-7 in overtime games, if not mistaken. Was really bad defensive coaching in the touchdown that wins the Eagles the game. I believe the Eagles players were even it was Jordan Mailata, if not mistaken. He made a comment in the post game in which they said like they knew that they would score in that play and they were pretty shocked that the Bills gave them the look that they give versus that play. So they would always just manage to get a touchdown there because of the movement that the safety took prior to the snap. It was something along the lines of that. So I mean that should have been on tape, and the defensive coordinator should probably have taken a look at that and not call that play on defense.
So
But yeah,
Tom
the
Brady,
Eagles win.
post retirement has gone on record as saying that the NFL in the state it's in now is the worst coached and worst fundamentally sound NFL that he's ever witnessed. Would you agree or disagree with that statement? Do you think the coaching now is worse than it was, say, in the 1990s, early 2000s, early 2010s?
I mean, for comparison's sake, I can only really talk about the coaching that I remember back when I started watching, so 2014. I can talk about coaching from before, but it wouldn't really be fair because I
Yeah, you
wasn't
didn't
really
win.
into this. I read a lot and I saw a lot of games from before that, but I
Mm-hmm.
didn't experience it at the time. So I
That's
guess
fair.
it's a bit different. I don't know. I always feel like there's bad coaches every year.
There are
Like
always bad
there's teams
coaches.
with bad coaches. And I guess the state of the QB play, he might have a point here because we did have like a pretty good golden age of QBs playing, like the Tom Brady's, Drew Brees, Rivers, Eli there for a while when I started watching, Peyton, Andrew Luck, Rogers as well. I mean, Big Ben, of course. We have a few of like those borderline Hall of Famer QBs, and now
Mm-hmm.
you look at the league, and I don't think you see as many of them. Like you see Mahomes, you see Allen, and even Allen is probably like level right now. You see Hurts, who I would argue is also not at that level right now. Um, so I agree with the QB play. Coaching, I think it's mostly the same. I would make the argument that coaching seems worse right now because of the dip in QB play. Like it makes the coaches look worse.
Yeah, I can see it.
What?
I generally agree with them because I think with the way the rules are now, we kind of don't. So Tom Brady said that when he played certain players like Ray Lewis, he would not focus the middle as much and focus the outside a lot more because he feared that throwing to the middle would knock out one of his targets if Ray got to him, and he couldn't have that. That's not happening now. In fact, you have players who I think now we've gotten to the point in obsession with efficiency that you just want the most efficient throws, you want to throw to flags, and you just want to try and get calls. And while that is great as far as offense goes and moving the ball down the field, that does lean into okay, you're probably going to get your players hurt going up the middle, getting them blasted more times than they normally would.
Yeah, I generally agree with you. I also think that the level of the defensive players has taken a dip
Hmm.
from where it was
I think it's just
before.
harder. It's hard.
Yeah, and it's harder. Yeah, I agree. So yeah, overall, I think the product on the field it's not as good as it once was. Does that matter overall in the end in terms of league revenue, in terms of eyes in the league? I don't think so. If I didn't have the work trip tomorrow, I would still be watching tonight a pretty bad Vikings Bears game, like it was any sort of Super Bowl, because
Hmm.
that the league gets you into this. I mean, I watched the full Baltimore Ravens Chargers game yesterday night, and it was just awful. So overall, it won't matter in terms of eyes in the league, but it's probably the worst product that has been around. And it's also because there's a lot of rookie starting QBs. And I guess if some of these rookie QBs do take a step up and they do continue to play and improve, I guess the future product could be better because right now, I mean, you're looking at Will Levis, Bryce Young, Tommy DeVito, Aidan O'Connell, for example. You are looking at DTR for the short period that he played with the Browns before he got hurt. You're
Yeah.
looking at who else? There's way more. I mean, there's Stroud, of course. There is Raider, who is probably like his first like rookie year as a starting QB. And yeah, so there's squad and Owl as well, and Jordan Love. So there's quite a bit of young QBs getting their first shot at a starting job, and that can probably sort of make you see the product as worse than it is. But in eventually in the future, this could be beneficial if the players keep developing. That is.
Hmm. Because I do think the state of the wide receiver in the NFL is better than it's been in the past.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, we have really good wide receivers
Yep.
right now, and corners as well.
Yeah, corners as well too.
Oh, but yeah, there was also another interesting game in the afternoon slate yesterday. But the Jaguars and the Houston Texans, pretty solid game that they both had there. Did you see any of it?
No, I did not. I was too busy
Hmm.
watching the atrocity that was the Bengals.
And
So,
then you had some Browns, wasn't it?
yep,
Yeah, just lovely Sunday.
gross. It's gross, just gross.
At least you managed to see the Broncos, the oddest team in the NFL.
Their offense looks really good, honestly. Like
And
really, really good.
their defense looks
Better.
better. Yeah, they look opportunistic would be
Yes.
my word.
No, 100%.
But yeah, the Jags and the Texans, I mean, the battle for the AFC South, Jaguars managed to get it in the end. Stroud played solid. Played good indeed. I won't say solid. Played good. Few mistakes there in the end. That prevented them from actually like having a shot at the tying field goal.
Hmm.
He held the ball too much when trying to make the play there in the end, and it basically meant his backup kicker because Kaim Ferber is still out. So it was Matt Amendola's chance to kick the football, and he missed a 50 something yarder kick to tie the game,
That's
which I
rough.
mean, you don't expect that much from a backup kicker.
Hmm.
But
That's rough, but yes.
it was a mistake by Stroud not at least getting some yardage because it wasn't short by that much. So if you get him some yardage and it's like a 45, 46 yard field goal, he probably makes it. But yeah, it was an entertaining game, and it is apparently Devin Singletary's backfield now instead of Damian Pierce.
Yeah. Yeah.
They share the carries pretty evenly. It was Singletary with 6, Pierce with 5. But then in the receiving game, Singletary had 7 targets to Damian Pierce's 1.
It's weird to see, honestly, because Devin Singletary never came across to me as like a receiving back, but at the same time, I'm not sure if they have anyone I'd classify as a receiving back there. So
Yeah. And he is more of a receiving back than Damian Pierce, I guess would be the point.
yeah,
And he's probably just a better scheme fit than Damian Pierce.
probably.
Yeah. Damian Pierce was a nice start in his rookie season, but this was sort of what I was afraid of. And do you want to talk about the Browns, or do we just let it be?
Oh, I don't.
Probably let it be. There's not a whole lot to talk about. There's about as much to talk about from that game as there is to the Rams and Cardinals game. Both really bad, really one-way games.
The poor, the poor Browns defense, dude. The poor Browns
Yeah.
defense.
I
It's
guess
just
we'll just wrap up talking about the Monday Night Football game.
how'd they even get to
Yeah.
12? Hmm,
12. Oh, the Browns.
yeah. Oh,
It
PJ
was,
Walker came in after I turned off. Okay, that's cool.
yeah, DTR was hurt.
Oh, he got hurt?
Yeah, I believe he got concussed, if not mistaken.
Ooh.
He got at least shaken up. Yeah, it was a concussion, yeah. Big hit by Baron Browning, which was flagged and really shouldn't have been flagged. It was mostly because of how bad it looked in the end. DTR
Hmm.
was down quite a bit. I think they usually tend to throw in the flags when it looks like that. But like in terms of a hit, it wasn't an illegal hit or anything like that. I really thought it was a bad flag. But yeah, he got hurt. He got concussed. PJ Walker came in, didn't do much. It was just terrible game all around. I mean, if there wasn't a Panthers Titans game, and if it wasn't a which was it? The Patriots and the Giants game, this would be up there for the worst game.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Yeah.
that good.
You're not wrong. It wasn't a good game to watch. But hey, Panthers defense making Will Levis look pretty decent, eh?
See, and
Yeah.
Panthers offense making Will Levis look pretty decent as well by not being able to even move the ball. Uh, thankfully,
I feel bad for Bryce Young, man. That team is bad.
maybe they get to do something without Frank Reich now.
I don't even think Bryce Young he hasn't looked great. Don't misconstrue my statement to say I think he's looked great. I don't think he's looked bad.
Yeah.
Like like how you describe Justin Fields' throw, he doesn't look like that. He just looks like a guy who has no time, who's trying to make something out of nothing, and who's also trying to learn the speed of the NFL at the same time. It just looks bad. It looks bad as from a fan watching this guy from the Panthers organization. The Panthers organization just looks bad. He has no targets. His offensive line is terrible. I believe it was bottom 5 graded PFF last I checked. And yeah, he's trying to make chicken salad, but he can't pretty much.
He
He's
doesn't
just
have the chicken.
yeah, he does have the chicken. Yeah,
He just has salad. He's just eating his greens. That's all. Nothing
yeah,
else.
yeah.
I mean, it was a rough game. I mean, if there's one thing I would criticize Bryce is that sometimes you see players playing really bad and you sort of throw that aside because of the coaching and the weapons and so on and so forth. But at least
Yeah.
sometimes you see glimpses. And I don't think I've seen plays, at least in a big amount, that makes me
Hmm.
say like wow plays. I don't think I've seen that from Bryce yet. And I would like to see to have some more hope for next year. But
It's
you
kind of hard to make wild plays when your receivers don't even know how to catch a football near the sidelines.
yeah, that was an insane. Like I don't know how Jonathan Mingo even decided to do that.
It's like he tried to make that an incomplete pass.
Yeah, like he tried his best, just completely falling on the ground outside of the field. Like he didn't want to give that ball any chance of being completed. And now
Okay.
like Wright got fired today, but yesterday it was pretty bad in terms of like locker room stuff because now you got, for example, DJ Shark, who can't play a lick of football right now. It's pretty bad. Throwing his QB under the bus. Did you see any of that?
No, I did not.
Okay, so last play of the game, they were trying to make a comeback. It was an
As one does.
unlikely one. Yeah, it was an unlikely one. But it was a 7 point game. They had, I don't know, I believe it was under a minute. And Bryce comes out of the huddle, gets set, and then calls an audible from the play that it was called from the sideline. So the sideline gave him two plays. He audible to the second one. The second one was a screen on a 4th and 10. A screen gets completely blown out because it's the Panthers. And then you have DJ Shark coming to the media saying that the first play that got called from the sideline would have given them a better chance and that it was Bryce who changed the play. So essentially blaming Bryce for the loss. And it's
Hmm.
like it's okay when you and it's not okay, but it's comprehensible when you're like, I don't know, a Stephon Diggs, Justin Jefferson, whatever, like an elite wide receiver. But to have the nerve of being just such a mediocre wide receiver like DJ Shark, and you throw your rookie QB with like 10 starts or 11 starts in this league, you throw him under the bus for what? Because you're in a 1 year deal and you want to save face? Like save face by actually playing a lick of football, man. That's just I don't see Bryce throwing shade to his line. I don't see Bryce throwing shade to his wide receivers who can't catch a football or get separation. I mean, DJ Shark is a speedster who should get separation, and he gets less separation than Quentin Johnston. So what are we doing here? Like that just came around really bad to me. But yeah, now the locker room is sort of iffy. I guess maybe it changes now with Reich out of town, but I didn't like that at all.
It is a bad look.
It is. Oh, finally, last game on the docket before we go into the other topics. The Chargers lost again. Quentin Johnston got benched. Yikes.
Borderline again.
Cannot grab a football to save his life. Yeah. Not this game probably summarizes in a play that I thought was really funny. Which was, I believe it was still in the first half. Chargers got the ball first. They drive down the field. They don't get points because of, I think it was a fumble or something of sorts. Then they don't get anything. Then the Ravens come into the field, and the first play coming out of a TV timeout, they call a timeout, the Chargers, because they have too many men on the field. It's the first play of the game. What are we doing here? How does Brandon Staley still have a job?
Because
Like
they're waiting for Bill Belichick to become available, obviously.
something's just baffling me, dude. I cannot comprehend this. This is just. And don't get me wrong, this one was probably more on the offense than the defense because they didn't allow the Ravens to have more than 20 points, and even then, the last 7 points were on a end around play by Zay Flowers, like with 3 minutes left on the clock, and he scored like a 30-something yard run. So it was more like 13 points throughout most of the game. Like they held them pretty well. The Chargers just were making mistakes on offense. Back-to-back fumbles. One from Justin Herbert, the other one from Austin Eckler, that they both lost it. Those turnovers were just very costly. And in the end, I mean, Herbert didn't do much. Lamar just did enough to win. And I was pretty afraid that I was going to lose my week because of Keenan Allen. So I was literally screaming at my TV to stop throwing to Keenan Allen, throw to someone else, my guys. But no, it was Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen had what? He had 16 targets, 14 catches, 106 yards. Like this offense is Keenan Allen. That's it.
Pretty much, yeah. That's all he's got. That's all he's got to throw to at this point.
Yeah. Like Eckler is now dropping balls, costly fumbles. Quentin Johnston is getting benched. He's getting out targeted by Jalen Rager, and he's having about the same amount of targets as Alex Erickson, which I don't know, man. That's a name I haven't heard in a while. Yeah, the Quentin Johnston experiment has failed. As I said prior to the season, he is a bust. And yeah, I'm sorry, Quentin Johnston truthers. The ship has gone down. You drafted the Titanic in your dynasty leagues. I'm sorry.
You drafted the Titanic in your dynasty league.
I just needed to get there out there because I won't be able to in the fantasy show. So yeah. And those were the week's games.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. And we cannot wait for Monday Night Football.
I don't want to.
What do you mean? You don't want to watch some
I don't want to watch
Joshua Dobbs?
my fate get decided.
Oh, okay. You should go watch the game though. It's gonna be great. I mean, it's Justin Fields versus Joshua Dobbs.
I'm good.
What can go wrong?
Hopefully they just start running off the clock from the start. Anyway, top 10!
Top 10.
Do you want to start or do you want me to start?
You can start this week. I believe I started the last one.
Okay. So at night, my number 10, even though they lost, they still look like the 10th best team to me. Houston Texans.
Houston.
Number
Next up.
Number 9, Cleveland Browns. They don't have a quarterback, but I'm pretty sure they'll be a threat in most games, even if the Broncos game was an outlier.
They have Joe Flacco now.
They have Joe Flacco now. Not 8 is the Lions. 7 is the Jags. 6 is the Dolphins. 5 is the Ravens. 4 is the Cowboys. 3 is the 49ers. 2 is the Chiefs. And 1 is the Eagles. And you're going to do it too.
Yeah, I guess. I really didn't want to do it. I think this is the most fraudulent top team I've ever had in my power
The most
rankings.
fraudulent top team you've ever seen?
Yeah, like there's a bunch of teams here in the top 10 that are frauds. Philly as the one. Philly isn't a fraud in terms of a top 10 team, but Philly is a fraud best team in the league. I do believe that in my core. But as I said, if they beat the Chiefs, they would be my number one team. And then not only did they beat the Chiefs, they somehow managed to find a way to beat the Bills. So at 10, my surprise pick, the Denver Broncos.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm putting them there. They are the oddest team in the NFL right now. They have won, I believe it is 5 straight now, or is it 6 straight? I can check that real quick. But yeah, I mean, crazy win streak. It's the best win streak in the league so far, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they have won 5 in a row right now. They are tied with the Eagles, who have also won 5 in a row. So the Denver Broncos are my 10th team. The Bills, I still can't take the Bills out of the top 10. They should have won that game. They deserve to win that game. In the end, they failed, but they are my ninth team.
I haven't
Then
had the
it's
Bills in like 4 weeks, dude.
forever, in forever. Then I have at 8, I have Jacksonville. At 7, I have the Miami Dolphins. At 6, I have the Dallas Cowboys. At 5, the Detroit Lions. I haven't knocked them down that much. I knocked them down a slot. Thanksgiving game, divisional game. This is my pass for them. I'm not sure if I have given them a pass yet, but this is my pass for them. Then I have Baltimore
How many
as the
passes are the
14.
Bills on?
The Bills, gee, they are running out of passes.
They
But
are running out of passes.
but thankfully for the Bills, there's not a lot of other teams that I want to put in here, so then I have the Niners at 3, KC at 2, and the fraudulent Philadelphia Eagles are my number one team, unfortunately.
Let's go.
Ah,
Where did you have the Jaguars again? I'm sorry, I didn't hear it.
the Jaguars are 8.
8.
Yeah,
That's low key hater. Oh well, I have them at 7, so
no.
it's not that much difference. But still.
And finally, so small recap for the picks. Last week, Angelo 8-7, pretty solid week. Can can be 8-8 or 9-7 after Monday Night Football. So I guess just small round of applauses. And that puts you overall at 90, 87, and 1, which is over 50% now. And for me, I went 6-9. Very bad breaks, but I won't use that as an excuse, I guess. And I am 75, 102, and 1.
So how many
It's
wins do you need? Just
I
out of
need 15 wins. It's getting
curiosity.
difficult, to say the least.
You're not gonna get there, buddy.
I do not believe I will get there. You are correct. We are pending Monday Night Football, as I said before, but it shouldn't change much. The overall records, I am at 42%. And
I'm at.
now you are at 51%.
That's a pretty big gap, my dude.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's pretty much the same as last week because now that we have so many games, it's hard to change the number that much. You're just changing the decimals, and I'm
Yep.
rounding those up, so it's getting rough. It's getting very rough. I need you to completely blunder a week, and I do
It's more
not.
you need to accurately predict a week because I'm just at this point I'm
Thank you.
just going against
Thank you. Thank you, my dude.
you.
Just what I needed to hear.
It's
Okay, so this is what now? We're going into week 13. Wow, wow, wow. We're getting close to the end.
we are getting close to the end.
I only have what? 4 more weeks to catch you up? No, 5 more weeks to catch you up.
You just need to get like 3 games a week. That's all. That's all.
That's all. And we have some buys this week. The Baltimore Ravens are on bye. The Buffalo Bills are on bye. The Chicago Bears are on bye. The Las Vegas Raiders are on bye. The Minnesota Vikings and the New York Football Giants. All of those teams are on a bye.
Well, thank
Just
God.
great stuff. After last week having 0 buys, now we get 6. Perfect.
That's three
Keep doing
games.
your
You're not
job,
gonna.
schedule makers. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so first game, Thursday night football. The Seattle Seahawks at the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys are 8.5 point favorites. The over-under is 46.5. Oh boy. I believe I am 1-2 in the last 3 games picking the Seahawks.
Mm-hmm.
But 8.5 is a lot of points for a Thursday night football game.
It is.
It is.
It is.
But the Cowboys just beat up on bad teams.
Are you calling yourself a bad team?
Yeah, I might. I might be after what I've seen. Oh, Dak is just okay. I'm gonna pick with the heart again. Give me Seattle plus 8.5.
All right. I
Listen to me closely, audience. The right pick is what Angelo was gonna pick right now. Give
give
me
me the
your pick, Angelo.
Cowboys.
Yeah, that's the right pick, ladies and gentlemen.
Dak. So here's a question for you:
Yes.
if Dak continues on this trend, i- at what point does he start making MVP conversations? Because I think if I was voting, I'd be considering him right now. There's still 5 games, but at this point in time, over the last 4 or 5 weeks, I'd be looking at Dak.
I mean, if he keeps playing like he has the last few weeks, then sure, I would give him the award. I mean, there's not really a player who has been like getting away with the award this year. Like the current favorite is Jalen Hurts at plus 140. Then it's Mahomes plus 350, and then it's Dak Prescott at plus 800. So, I mean, I would think he's about as good as a candidate as Hurts or Mahomes. Plus, he has the star on the helmet.
Plus, he has the star on the helmet.
So, America's team, isn't it?
You're not wrong. That is the name. America's
I
team.
do think it's pretty good odds. You can find them in some books at plus 1,000 as well.
All right.
Yeah.
Next game for me is the Miami Dolphins at the Washington Commanders. Oh, Miami's favored by 9.5. Unfortunately, the Commanders' defense is 9.5 bad. Give me the Dolphins.
Okay. So, the Commanders did fire their defensive coordinator, Jack Del Rio, and I believe they fired the DB's coaches as well. Does that give me enough confidence to go with the Commanders?
Who's playing defense in the Commanders?
The same players, just different coaching, and we pray. And I guess it does. Give me the Commanders plus 9.5.
Let's go.
I have to go with them. Next up, the Detroit Lions at the New Orleans Saints. The Lions are 4-point favorites away. The over-under is 46.5. Yeah, I don't know. We mentioned it before, but the Miami game is the highest on the week. It's 50.5. This is 46.5. And give me the Lions -4. I cannot pick your team, dude. I'm sorry.
You know what? I'm going to break the rule and I'm going to agree with you because if Chris Olave is actually unavailable this game, 4 points ain't enough. Give me the Lions. Under the assumption Olave isn't playing.
Okay.
Next up. Oh. The LA Chargers at the New England Patriots. The fact that the Chargers are only favored by 6 just speaks leaps and bounds to what the Chargers have been through. I think if there's one coach who could stop one player, Keenan Allen, it's Bill Belichick. But at the same time, I just got to let the Chargers keep hurting me. Give me the Chargers -6.
You got to buy from that last week because I did pick the Chargers.
Yeah.
So you got yourself a bye week there.
Well,
Now
I
you're
got
back
them.
into the purgatory.
Yep.
And like, can I really pick the Patriots, dude?
Can you?
It's
I don't know.
it's like the Patriots.
It's 6 points.
It's 6 points. Like the Chargers do not cover 6 points. Like
I
they will
know.
dominate and they will win this by like 3. So give me the Patriots +6.
Okay.
This as like I'm gonna lose, I don't know, 16-9. I'm gonna lose 16-9 on this one.
Oh, man.
Okay, next up, the Carolina Panthers at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are 5.5-point favorites. The over-under is 37, which is the second lowest on the week. Um, and I mean, Panthers, new coach. I like the narrative of new coaches coming in, giving the team some strength. QB coach got fired. It can't possibly get worse right now. So the Buccaneers are a complete mess. Give me the Panthers +5.5. We roll.
Is Baker going to be available in the next game?
I believe he will, yeah. He got back into that game as well. He finished the game.
All right, give me the Buccaneers. Oh, God.
Have fun, buddy. That's the lowest on the week.
It deserves to be the lowest on the week. The Atlanta Falcons at the New York Jets. Over-under is 34 points. The Falcons are favored by 2.5 points. Uh, uh, Give me the Jets. I'm not picking the damn Falcons.
Oh, I'm on the opposite end here. After watching Team Boyle, I I mean, unless you gave me like 14 points, I'm gonna take the other side. I'm sorry. It's just Timmy, as Robert Sala calls him. Timmy's getting another chance, and I'm not giving the Jets another chance here. Give me the Falcons -2.5.
Okay.
Next up, it's the Cardinals at The Pittsburgh Steelers over under 39.5. And the new and improved Pittsburgh Steelers are 5.5 point favorites. You know what? Hmm. Give me the Steelers. This is way too big of a number, but it's the new and improved Steelers, so let's give it a go. Give me the Steelers minus 5.5.
This is pure Alex is always wrong logic. Give me the Cardinals.
Yeah, after watching them just getting absolutely plummeted by Kyron Williams, I am gonna pass on the Cardinals right now.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yay.
Oh my god.
Have fun.
Colts at Titans. Colts favored by 2 points. Oh god.
The playoff bound Colts. They are the last team in the playoffs for the AFC.
Give me the Colts. What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Give me the Colts as well.
You couldn't do it.
I cannot do it.
You didn't have the moxie.
I cannot. I cannot. This is probably the game in which I should have gone against you because this feels like a prime divisional matchup. This is gonna be a 13-10 game, so I should take the points. But yeah, I cannot take Will Levis. And next up, both of our 10 teams. The Denver Broncos at the Houston Texans. My 10th seed or team in the power rankings versus yours. And the Texans are 3.5 point favorites with an over-under of 46.5. And you know who I have as the better team, so give me the Broncos as plus 3.5.
Give me the Texans.
Right.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Next up, I have the San Francisco 49ers at the Philadelphia Eagles. The 49ers are favored by 3 points. You know what? I know you want to pick the 49ers, so I'm going to pick the Eagles. Give me the plus 3. Say the Eagles are going to get sacrificed. Go ahead, Alex. That's what I would do. I'm giving you the opportunity to say that the Eagles are about to get
I
sacrificed.
can I cannot
Top,
in good faith say that.
you cannot in good faith say that.
I do not understand this line. How are the Eagles plus 3 at home? This is telling me that they think the Niners are at least 4 or 5 point better than the Eagles in a neutral ground. And if this game was reversed, then we're talking about almost a touchdown better for the Niners.
Yep.
No, I cannot go along with that one. Give me the Eagles plus 3 as well.
Oh dang! I should have picked the 49ers.
Hey, do you
Oh
want to
well.
switch?
Yeah. You pick the
Okay.
Eagles. You put the Alex curse on them. The Eagles are about to get sacrificed.
Okay, you get your
Congratulations.
switch. You get your switch.
Okay.
Next up, the Cleveland Browns at the Los Angeles Rams. The PJ Walker or Joe Flacco led Cleveland Browns. Poor guys. The Rams are minus 5. 5 point favorites. Over under is 39.
Oh,
Oh boy. Do I take the Browns' stellar defense with plus 5? Oh, we didn't mention it, but Miles Garrett might be hurt for real. Did you see that thing where he was
No,
with his arm on a sling after the game and he had to be helped to put on his shirt?
I did not.
Yeah, he
Uh-oh.
might be hurt. Yeah, he was looking iffy on the field. I believe he finished the game, the part that mattered. But yeah, in the locker room he was hurting. Miles played. I would take the +5. This is not. I'm not sure if he is. I guess I'm taking the Rams -5.
I'm gonna agree with you on that. Give me the Rams -5 on this. Miles Garrett is basically what's left with the Browns,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Oh
Oh
boy.
boy. Kansas City Chiefs at Green Bay Packers. Chiefs favored by 6.5. You know, give me 6.5 points. Give me the Packers. Alex, you there, bud?
Yum, 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 yum. I'm looking at it and I'm thinking,
6.5 points is a touchdown and a PAT.
yeah, it's a lot of points for a primetime game.
It is a lot of points for a primetime game. Jordan Love does look. Oh God, we have the Monday night game.
Yeah, we have the Monday night game. And I get to pick it first. But
Oh,
I think you'll like my pick. So,
okay.
this is a very tough game. This is the game that I'm having the most trouble picking. Because on one hand, the Packers are really playing great right now. On another, it's still the Chiefs. They might just plunder through them. But I'm going with the Packers as well. Give me the Packers +6.5.
Okay.
And finally, the Cincinnati Bengals at the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yep.
Over under 39 points. And the Jaguars are 8.5 point favorites.
Yep.
And you know what? I'm taking the Bengals. Give me the Bengals +8.5. This is a
Okay.
lot of points for Monday Night Football.
Give me the Jags. Just give me the Jags. It's no explanation needed.
You just cannot trust your team then.
Did you watch Jake Browning play?
I watched more of his play versus the Ravens, and he didn't look atrocious.
Did you watch Jake Browning play?
No, I did
No,
not watch
you
this
did
last
not
game.
watch Jake Browning play. Okay. Okay.
And I know I did not give an upset of the week pick last week, but I'm giving one this week, and it's the Carolina Panthers beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers straight up. Upset of the week.
Oh man, what an upset.
I mean, they are 5.5 point underdogs.
I don't know.
Another one in the books.
I can't believe you picked the Bengals.
I picked the Bengals.
You really. So, if the Jaguars face the Eagles in the Super Bowl, would you just be in shambles?
Probably. It's the most under deserving Super Bowl ever. At that point, I guess. Yeah, I'm not sure I would react well with that one.
Oh man.
And yeah, another show in the books. Tomorrow, you don't have my company. I'm
I will
sorry to
not.
leave you.
Austin will be here for the Thursday episode, the fantasy episode.
You will have a
Oh
Cowboys
man.
fan.
I mean, it'll be better than having a Seahawks fan.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. The star on the helmet. And you can ask him if he does think that Dak Prescott is the MVP or not. He will
I
obviously say
could ask
yes.
him that.
Yeah, he will
I don't
say
know.
yes. So.
Austin's kind of a fence sitter, so I don't know if he'll say yes to that.
Funny enough, I think the only player that would have a better case than him, because like he's having a good season, but it's not a spectacular season. So if like this trend continues and this path
Yep.
continues, I think the player who might steal it away from him, it's Tyreek Hill.
You think a position player is going to win MVP?
If this continues, Tyreek is on pace for 2,000 yards.
You're not wrong.
That's the first time ever a wide receiver would do it, I believe.
It's a solid case. I'm not saying it's not, but
If there's one year in which a positional player can win it, it's probably this one. So breaking the 2,000 yards barrier that no one ever broke, that would be a pretty good one. Pretty good case.
you're not wrong.
That is the show, I guess. Is there anything we're missing?
Oh, do you have any sweet words to the fans since you're not going to be there Thursday?
Just if you're following along the ride, as a legend once said, and now um, a legend who has now passed away. Job's not finished. Job's finished. Job's not finished. So we stand tall. We get another week in. I got the first tween of the tree that I needed. Job's not finished.
You're not beating me. I hope you know that.
Job's not finished.
You're not beating me. You're just
We
not.
shall see. I'm just saying, job's not finished, man.
I'm gonna be without Chris Olave and Justin Jefferson next week. They're gonna be back for you. The
And
job's gonna remain unfinished until next year.
nah, let's see. For now, all I can say is, job's not finished, man. Job's finished. Job's not finished. We'll talk about it
Okay.
when job's finished.
Okay. Well, you do the outro. You're better at it than me.
Well, as Angelo always says, we have a nice fancy donate button around there. You just click it and you help us out. And other ways you can help us out is if you're listening on podcast, if you're listening on Spotify app, just subscribe, leave a review on it, 5-star review, of course. We don't take any less than that. You can also just turn on the auto download. That also helps quite a bit. And if you're watching on YouTube, just don't forget to subscribe. All the usual things. Subscribe, leave a like, turn notifications on, and leave us a comment. And see you guys next week from me. And I guess Angelo will talk to you guys on Thursday. Bye, guys.
See you guys.